Hey YouTube, it's me again. I know I'm uploading a lot lately, but I also don't have a job, and so I have a lot of time on my hands, so I have more time to upload, and since I was kind of absent while I was traveling, I want to make it up to you guys. Can you blame me? So today, we're gonna do the perfect palette tag. Everybody's doing this. So excited. So, I'm gonna do the perfect palette tag for you guys. I don't have all of my palettes with me, but I'm gonna do the tag with the ones I have, and then I'll mention some of the ones that I've shipped, and just trust me, I have them. You've heard me talk about them before. I have a lot of palettes in my life right now. Anyway, we're gonna get started because this is gonna be a long one. First category is best packaging. Best packaging, I know a lot of people talk about Urban Decay for packaging, and Urban Decay has some gorgeous packaging, don't get me wrong, but for my palettes that are in front of me right now, I'm gonna go with the Kat Von D Ladybird palette. Not just because, I mean, look at the ombre on that, and the etched design, and the Kat Von D logo, and then you open it up, and I'll tell you what, this is what I love about this palette. Not a single bit of space on this palette was wasted. Like, everything is used, like, all of the space is used in a very productive way. The shadow pans are huge, and you've got the color names on the back, so you can reference them at any point in time, which is always awesome, because I know sometimes the color names, if they're etched on the inside, tend to rub off. So, great packaging, without a doubt, Kat Von D's Ladybird palette. Next category is Best Color Payoff. For Best Color Payoff, I'm gonna have to go with... Oh, it's kind of a tie. Is that bad? It is kind of a tie. I'm gonna have to go with a tie between the Laura Mercier Artist Palette and the Lorac Pro Palette. They're both gorgeous. They both have some amazing colors, and the color payoff on these is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch a little something something from the Lorac Pro palette. I've used the crap out of this thing. This is the Garnet shade. It's like a red color, and it's just beautiful. Like, look at that. That's crazy. And then as for my lights going out, sorry. As for the Laura Mercier Artist palette, I mean, let's see, I'll do one of my favorite colors in here, which is African Violet. I mean, oh, it's so pretty. I'll put it right next door so you guys can see. Just beautiful, beautiful colors, beautiful color payoff. Awesome. So that's definitely a tie. Most versatile. Most versatile for me would probably have to be the Laura Mercier Artist palette. While the Lorac Pro palette is a close runner-up because I have used that for a bunch of different stuff, this would be, like, for me, versatile means that you have the least amount of colors that you can do the most looks with. That's the definition of versatile for me. And this is definitely one of those. Like, you don't have that many colors, but you can do so much with these. I've done natural looks, I've done smoky looks. I mean, done deal. You'll hear me talk about this a lot more. Best for traveling. Best for traveling, I'm gonna give, again, to the Kat Von D Ladybird palette. It's solid. You can tell it's not gonna break on you. It's very, very thin, and it's plastic. I keep this in my travel kit all the time, and you have enough colors in there that you can create some good looks, natural or smoky. They're all matte shades, and you can pretty much not go wrong when it comes to travel with this palette, so definitely going with that. Biggest regret. Some of you guys are going to be mad at me for this, but it's going to be a tie. My biggest regret when it comes to just not living up to my expectations necessarily would have to be the e.l.f. beauty books that I got. I got the day book and the night book, and they're not bad. Like, I don't necessarily regret them completely, but it's just I have to do so much work to get the colors to actually take. The only reason that I wouldn't necessarily say that I regret it so much is because the price was dirt cheap, so I'm not too worried about it. I just really don't use them all that much because I'm too lazy to put in the work to get the color payoff that I want and get the consistency that I want because their shadows are powdery as hell. Another regret, y'all are gonna hate me for this. Vice 2, I know It's a solid palette, don't get me wrong, but there's just some things that really irk me about this palette. Like, okay, when it comes to Urban Decay, they're hit or miss for me, and some of these colors are beautiful, and some of them, when I swatch them, they're also beautiful. But the green color that I used on my cut crease yesterday, which is called Damaged, can you see it? It's right below that blue one. It's right there. When I swatch this, it's freaking gorgeous. And when I put it on my wrist, it's freaking gorgeous. When I put it in my crease to do my cut crease look yesterday, it did not live up to the hype. It ended up going really muddy and almost looking like a dirt brown color, which was really weird for me unless it was in the perfect light. So for me, that's gotta be my biggest regret, just because it was so expensive. The shadow quality is not what I would expect for a palette that's that expensive. Is it just me, or do these three colors go really well together? But that's the swatch right there. So it looks fine in the swatch, but I don't know, maybe it just doesn't go with my skin tone. Maybe the yellow in my skin tone is bringing out the brown in the green. I don't know. It just showed up really weird on me. And the shadows are kind of powdery, and there's only 2 matte colors in there. And considering this is a $60 palette, I don't know. I was just expecting a little more out of it. So again, I don't necessarily regret it completely, but you know, it's my most disappointing palette, I'll put it that way. Best color names. Best color names, though, I'm gonna have to go with Urban Decay. They, Lorac Pro's colors are all very straightforward. Laura Mercier's color names are beautiful, but these are just too cool. Like Toxic, Radar, Lovesick, Smoke Out. You guys know that Urban Decay's palettes are known, or Urban Decay shadows in general, are known for their unique names. Love them, love them, love them. 4 names. Least used, I'd have to say nowadays my least used palettes would be the Sephora Blue Eyes palette. I mean, I used to use this all the frickin' time. I'll talk about that later, but that's one of my least used now because it's really old, and I just plumb don't use it anymore. The e.l.f. palettes I also don't use at all. I think I've used them maybe like legit once or twice, but it's just too much work to get them to take. And this beautiful 28 Neutrals palette from Crown Brush, don't get me wrong, I love this palette. I just haven't had the gumption or the wherewithal to pull it out and use it for anything. So those are my least used, most loved, Desert Island. So my most used would actually be this one, because for the first year and a half that I was consistently doing makeup to go out, I was using this exclusively. This was the only eyeshadow palette I had. It was my first eyeshadow palette. It's a great set, but I just don't use it as much anymore. As you can see, it is freaking destroyed. I actually ended up dropping it and it broke the palette and it shattered the dark blue, but the dark blue is a gorgeous color. It's got some amazing colors for blue eyes. I love it. I just used the crap out of it at the beginning of my makeup doing life. Most loved and Desert Island. So that means if I were to go on a desert island, what palette would I bring with me if I could only bring one? And for me, hands down, right now, most loved Desert Island. Of course, my most loved palette will practically change by the day, but my most loved Desert Island palette right now, the Laura Mercier Artist Palette. I pretty much love everything about this. The colors are so beautiful, the formula of the shadows is so creamy and rich, and the colors are so blendable. It's such a velvety, soft texture. I don't even know. I just love this palette to death. I got it at Sephora. See if you guys can still find it. I know they stopped selling it on the website, so a lot of places might be sold out already, but I love this palette so much. Anyway, I want to hear about you guys' favorite palettes. I tag everyone in this tag. It is a really fun tag to do, and I am really indecisive, so it was actually very difficult for me to pick some of my favorite palettes, but go ahead and leave a comment in the box below about what your favorite palette is right now. And another question that I would add to this tag would be, what palette did you wish you bought that you can't find anymore? Because for me, that would be the Sigma Creme de Couture palette. I kept seeing it and I was like, I passed it up, and now I'm kicking myself because I can't find it anywhere, and I really wish I had it because I'm playing with a lot of colors right now. So go ahead, leave those comments, leave that love, and I'll see y'all in a few days. Bye!